Hey guys, I wanted to come on today to kind of walk you through the process of how I created the silhouette forms with the gowns. Okay, so I'm not going to call them brides, I'm just going to say, gowns, nice gowns. So the first one I did um, for the first time, so I'm not experienced at this, but I'm willing to share what I did. So the first one I did is I took this 8.5, or excuse me, 8 by 10 canvas, and I wanted to do one of the situations where you put a silhouette, you paint a silhouette on there, and then you add tulle to it to make it look like some type of wedding dress or ball gown or something like that. So I had some old tulle left over, didn't go to the store and buy any. Actually, I had it in my fabric stash of, scraps, and I pulled it out and turned it into something really gorgeous. So this is the first one that I did. Okay. So I have this hanging on my fireplace. So I actually printed the canvas, or I did her silhouette first because I didn't want to print the entire canvas because it wasn't necessary, or paint the entire canvas because it wasn't necessary. So I did the silhouette first. So I took this and I actually just printed out this, or cut this out on my Cricut maker. And then I placed it on the canvas and then I traced her. After I traced her, I then painted the canvas blue around her. And then I started painting the inside. So if you can see, her blouse actually has a little bit of texture to it, because um, I put the white acrylic paint on there, and then I took a little Q-tip and started dabbing in there. And I also made like a little ribbon. So there's like a little bow here, and then I put like a little bit of gold glitter to make it look like it had some type of little jewelry bedazzle right there on the back of it. And I put a little bit of the bedazzle also on her bow. So this was the first one that I did, and it is really, really pretty. I was really shocked. So for her skin tone, I used Craft Smart acrylic paint, golden brown. That's the color that I have for her skin tone. And then, of course, the hair is black. I like to use the gloss black so that it gives it a little bit of shine. And so that's it. So you can see that I didn't do anything with this because I just wanted it to stay white. So I did not paint the bottom part of hers. So that was number one. 8 by 10. I got 10 of these at Dollar Tree. So it was 10 for 10. And then I decided to go a second time. So I took this silhouette, and this particular bride was actually holding a bouquet in front of her. And so I wanted to replicate that. And of course, you can't tell here. So if you have a visual, print that visual out so you have something to refer back to. So again, I took another 8 by 10 and did the same thing as I did with the very first one. So this is the second one that I did. And again, I'll bring it in for a close up here so you guys can see. But I used some ribbon. I thought I had left the ribbon in here, but I think I've already taken it in my craft area. But I actually took some ribbon and made it look like she had sleeves. And I took that same ribbon and I cut a circle to make a little hair piece up there. Her hair is actually brown, which I really liked having the hair a different color. And then let's see, I took all these little roses that I got from Walmart, this little pack like this, and I took a cotton ball and I put the cotton ball down and glued it to where it just kind of, you know, rose up like to be kind of protruding outward. And then I used my hot glue gun and started gluing on the flowers to her. I did the same thing. I put the white acrylic paint, but then I added a little bit of white, no, silver and pink glitter on her top. So you can see that there. And on this one, I actually painted under her dress because I really wanted to bring out that pink. And since this was a truly, truly light pink, I wanted to kind of bring out the pink representation a little bit more. So these are the two art forms that I've done so far. And I'm placing them both on my fireplace and they look absolutely amazing. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is run through the process with you on how I did it. And I have a different art form this time, which I'm going to use this one. So these are my three art forms. So I'm going to use this one this time. And the difference here is her hair is in a bun. Okay, so remember I said always try to work with one that has the visual image and then just print out a silhouette of it. Okay, so her hair is actually in a bun. So she has like a little hair embellishment here, and then the bottom part, and then her back is actually all out. And it was covered in lace on the back, and then the rest of the dress just flared out in a nice, pretty kind of off-white light color. And so I'm going to try to replicate my version of it. So I have again another 8 by 10 canvas that I'm going to be working with here. And I am going to be right at the top here. I kind of probably should have did her more like a 7 instead of an 8 by 10, so I have a little bit more space. But I think the more you take up the bottom half of the canvas, the prettier it is. So I just kind of lay her. I don't glue it on or anything like that. I just kind of lay her on the canvas. So hopefully you guys can see that. I just lay her down on the canvas. And for some reason, I've fallen in love. It must be my age, but I've fallen in love with silver and gold. So I take my, these are actually Cricut markers. I take my Cricut markers and I outline her body with my marker here. So I'm just going to lay her down and I try to keep my hand where it is laying on her at all times because I don't want it to shift. So I'm just going to go in and do the outline of her body here right quick. Now, the first silhouette that I did, I created that one in PowerPoint using shapes. So it wasn't one that I had any visual, anything to go off of. I just did my own thing on that one. So I'm going to have to lay this down for a second here. So you don't have to be good at drawing or anything like that because you're just going to cover up this bottom half anyway with whatever fabric you're using. So, you know, you can use some really pretty fabric tulle. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, any of the craft stores. I haven't checked Dollar Tree. I don't know if they sell tulle. Okay, so I'm at the very top there. All right, so I'm just going to, this is not going to make a difference because the dress is going to be covering it. But there it is. I've taken and traced her image on my canvas. And at this point, I'm going to get my visual out of the way. So she had like a little bit of a bow or clamp or some type of hair thing on her. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to use whatever to cover it up. And then it had the rest of her little bun going here. So we're going to do it like that. And then after that, all of her back was out. And we're going to stop here for the hands. So not perfect, but you get it. So we're going to put like a little embellishment for the hair piece. And then we're going to paint this top part, and this little bottom part is her hair. All of her back will be out. So I'm just going to paint all that golden brown. And then this is going to be the dress flowing. Okay. So I have several acrylic paints here. This is the one, this is the Craft Smart, the golden brown that I use for the skin tone. I think I'm going to use the this chocolate sprinkle for the hair. So I use just regular brown on the other one, and then I have my black just in case I change my mind because I'm a girl and you know we do that. I have several paintbrushes here. And then glitter. Now, not saying I'm going to use both of these or either any of them, but you always want to have something. So I'm going to be thinking about how I'm going to make her back stand out. But I wanted to show you guys. So I have a pillowcase that I cut up, and it's kind of like you know, uh, a really nice shiny little fabric here, silky type fabric, but we know it's not really silk. So I took and I cut this up so that I could get the full effect. And then I thought about to iron it, but then I'm like, no, because you know, this kind of gives it some texture. So I may go with this. And then I also have a piece of extra scrap fabric. And I cut this out to where you can see it's just scrap fabric. So I may end up using this. Not really sure which one I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and get her hair done. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have some water. And I think I left my little craft towel because I like to wipe it off before I proceed. So I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead again and I'm going to start working on her first. And I'm going to get a nice smaller brush here. So since I'm going to use this, I have a little piece of just a box. So you can see I've used this before. You don't have to have anything special. You're just going to use a little dab. Let me shake this up because God knows the last time I used some acrylic paint. You can add just a little touch of water to your acrylic paints, guys, to kind of loosen it up a little bit. But we're going to see what comes out here. I say that like it's going to be a monster. It just feels super thick. So I may not be able to use this one. Oh yeah, this one is like so thick. It is called Chocolate Sprinkle. But it looks like a baby had an accident, to be honest with you. That's what it looked like. So I'm just going to take a little bit of water and kind of loosen it up a little bit here to be able to work with it because, ooh, yeah, this may not be what I want to use on the hair because I do not want it to be a mess. I'm just going to see if I can thicken it up, and if I can't, I'll get my other brown. Okay. Let me just see what it's going to look like. Yeah, it's still usable. So I'm just going in first to do the hair. And it's chocolatey for sure. Picking it up, thin it a little bit more because it is very thick. Now, if you don't have like the golden brown that I'm going to be using for the skin tone. If you don't have a lighter brown, guys, you just have a regular brown, like a darker brown, you can take and mix in a little bit of white with that brown, and it will give you a lighter color brown. So just in case. So you guys want to try that. All right, coming along here. And you don't have to be extra finicky like I am, guys, because sometimes I just, focus on the little stuff when I shouldn't be. All right, so that's the top part of her hair with the chocolate sprinkles. Yeah, chocolate sprinkle. This is by Apple Barrel multi-surface chocolate sprinkles. So I haven't been doing acrylic paints for a while because I started sewing and it kind of took over my life for a bit. But when the wind blows, I change again. So now I'm back to acrylic paints again. And I'm just putting like a little bit thicker, a second coat on here so I can get the true color and not have the canvas showing through. Okay, well, that looks nice. All right, so I'm going to do the bottom part of her bun. And I'm going to leave the middle piece where her embellishment goes until I decide which one of these fabrics I want to work with. But this is something that doesn't take a lot of time. The main thing is just finding the fabric that you want to work with. If you get a really pretty fabric, it can be really gorgeous. You could gift these to someone that's actually getting married. It could be a prom situation, or it could be your daughter going away to college and, you want to just give her some really nice pictures, to put up in her room. It could have been when she was in prom, going to prom, memories. Since she's leaving home, give her something to take with her. All right, so you can see how that's coming along. That's the hair. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and then I'm going to clean my brush here. Now, I normally have like a little craft towel, and I call it a craft towel because it's got some of everything on it, and I've washed it, and so colors and paints and stuff don't come out, and so I just call it my craft towel. So I'm not going to use that brush because it has a little bit of a split in it for some reason. I'm going to move on now to her skin tone. So again, I'm going to use the golden brown by Craft Smart, and just a dab will do you. You don't need to put a whole lot. I only put a little bit more of that chocolate sprinkle because it was so thick. As you can see, it looks like a baby had an accident, and I had to add a little bit of water to it to be able to use it. But I just got a little dab there of the golden brown. So I'm going to do her back now. And I do want to tell you guys, I'm not a professional at this. The yellow one was the first time I tried this. I've played around with acrylic paints before, but the yellow one was the first one that I tried, and I fell in love with it. And then I just, decided I want to try it again, and that's how the pink came about. And then I didn't create a video, and I have a Facebook group called Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. And just in case anybody in my group wanted to try this, I always try to create tutorials of some of the things that I do so that people can, try to do it on their own at their own time. All right, that chocolate sprinkle with this gold golden brown is going to be gorgeous. And again, a little dab will do you. It goes a long way, guys. So you don't have to, you're not using up a whole lot of paint for this. You know, it's a nice rainy day outside. You don't have anything to do. It's COVID-19. You can't really go anywhere anyway. You know, this is something that puts some music on and, you know, just paint. So I'm going to do around the body after I get her done, minus the dress form. You will need some type of glue. I use my hot glue gun, but you know, you can use Fabri-tac will work. Just a nice glue that will hold your fabric onto the canvas. So I'm gonna go over her back area one more time because I don't want the canvas showing through. I don't want it to look like she got impetigo or something. I think one of my schoolmates caught that back in the day, and they talked about that girl so bad. I felt bad for her. You know, that's stuff we can't control. But you know, sometimes when we're kids, we say some of the craziest things to people and not consider their feelings. I know I did that. But I was kind of quiet in school. I wasn't, you know, a bully or anything like that. And I do remember a girl I went to school with that was a bully. And man, I did not like her at all because I did not like bullies. All right, so I'm going in for a second time to fill in her back and arm area. And I'm going to be putting some type of embellishment, maybe gold or silver, to make it look like she's wearing, you know, like a see-through, like the back is see-through with all this beautiful embellishments on it. Okay, so I'm gonna let it dry a little bit and I'm gonna go in with the second coat. So that's the top half of the back. And then of course we're not going to do anything with this because this is where all of your dresses actually going to be. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that perfectly. But I'm gonna go in with the second coat of it because I do not want the canvas showing through. Alrighty, coming along here. And make sure you get, if you decide to try this, make sure you have a brush, a paintbrush that has that doesn't have like little bristles sticking off of it. That's going to make you go outside of your form. So you can see this one. There we go. Is nice and uniform together. The one I was using earlier, I don't know what happened to it, but if you can see that, it has like a little bit, like the bristles are like going everywhere. So when you're trying to paint with this, you will possibly go outside of your form because of those bristles not being uniform and all together. So I will give you that bit of a tip to kind of help you out. That's my alarm clock saying, Doris, it's time to get up. Hold on one second. All right, turn that off. All right, so now we have her back done and we have her hair done. All we have to do now is her embellishment on the hair, and we're going to do some embellishments on the back and then her dress. Looks like she got a badonkadonk. She got a badonkadonk. All right, so far I've only used the chocolate sprinkle for the hair and the golden brown for the back. And now I am going to move my art forms out of the way because I don't want to mess them up. These are really good, guys. Keep them around because you never know when you'll need them again. So you have some variety, especially if someone wants to purchase one from you. Then you already have your art forms ready to go that you can show them. I'm going to be moving this golden brown out of my way. So I'm going to start out by putting a little bit of this white. This is Extreme Glitter Hologram. It has, I'm trying to open it from the right side. Like, why won't it open? But you can see it has hints of glitter already in it. And so I'm going to put this on her hair where the little bow is. So, oops, a little dab because I don't need that much. And I'm using the same brush. I cleaned it with water. Normally I would dab it on my little craft cloth, but I don't have it over here. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of texture to it because I don't want it to look just super flat. So you can kind of see how I colored that in. And I'm going to give it a second here, and then I'm going to go in again and put another coat of that. And I'm probably going to put a little bit of the white glitter on top of it to make it stand out even more. But like if you have like some of the little jewelry beads and stuff, you could really, you know, kind of bling it out a little bit for the hair part. And that would be really pretty. So even though this has a hint of glitter, it's not a whole lot like you saw on that thing over there. I'm going to move my art forms out of the way. Guys, give me 1 second because I don't want to mess them up. And since I'm working with paint, I don't need no problems. Okay, so let me go. I'm going to put these on my fireplace. And I shall be right back. All right. And we're back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Somebody just splashing down the road. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my heat gun. My heat gun, I'm going to tell you guys, it was like really dirty all around here and everything. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to clean it off. But I let it get really, really hot. And then I went in and it peeled off really easy. So for any of you that want to clean up your glue gun, because this is a glue gun of 5 years, and it was really, really dirty. So with glue buildup. So I am going to plug this in. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to go with this one instead of the gold there. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to tell you normally what I like to do is I will take, the glue gun had fallen. I will take the fabric. When I use the tool, I took the tool and I would cut strips off like this. I would measure out how much I need and then I would clip it. And then I would go down to where that end I clipped and pull it together again like that, get it the size I need and clip it. And so I would put strips of tulle on her like that, okay? Since I haven't done this before, and this is a pillowcase, pillowcase fabric from a pillowcase, as you can see, I've cut it up. I'm kind of thinking that I'm just going to kind of pull it in bit by bit and grab it. And then I'm going to take a visual look to see here what it will look like if I went with this fabric. So this is just going to give me an idea if this will work, and my paint is still not completely dry on that body, so I don't want to touch up there. Oh, I had it perfect too. Okay. So just going to take, I lost it. So I think I may go with the pillow. Here it's all on the paint. I think I might go with the pillowcase fabric. I think this might be pretty. Once I'm able to gather it up like I want to. So I'm going to let my glue gun continue to get hot. And also think about what background will really, really go well. I like to do my background last because, you know, I want to make sure I've decided on what fabric I'm going to be using. And I think on hers, since I've already did like a gold and I did a blue, I might switch up the colors. I'm going to put a little bit of this glitter on top. And this is Recollections. And this one is Opaque Bling. I'm going to put a little bit on that glue. Not glue, but that white acrylic paint. I'm going to put a little bit on there to kind of bling out her hair piece. And always keep something that you can pour that excess glitter off on if you're going to use glitter. And I'm going to go pour it this way since her back is still got a few little wet spots, but the hair really doesn't. And then I always take a dry brush and I just brush off that excess glitter. There we go. So that's with the Opaque Bling by Recollections. Perfect. Because it kind of makes the hair piece part stand out more. And then I'm just going to take and put that right back into my container. And yesterday I was playing around with this, guys, and forgot to put the lid back on and knocked over one of my glitters. You talking about heartbroken. Heartbroken. All right, so glue gun is coming along there. So I'm going to make sure that I am folding this to where I'm not getting the straggly parts sticking out. So all I'm going to do is just take and put a little bit of glue and then put my fabric on top of it. So we're only going to be gluing up here across the top, but I would not recommend just gluing it all. I like to put a little bit of glue and then add a little piece of fabric to kind of get it going. And you know, with hot glue, you got to be working. You got to be working. So we're going to put that down on there. And yesterday, was working with this hot glue, and trust me, my nails were hot glued. All right, so you can see here, started with that, and that glue, you want to make sure it's good and hot, and it will go ahead and hold that form for you. So I'm going to go in and get my next little piece here and pull it up. And again, I'm hiding, let me see if I can show you here. I'm hiding the part that is stringy looking. So it looks like, you know, that's the way it's supposed to be, nice and really like a dress. So I'm going to put my next little dab of glue on there. And I'm going to turn it around so I can see here, and then I'll show you. Whoever thought we would be using pillowcases to do something like this, right? Stranger things have happened. I always try to keep my glue gun upright, but trust me when I tell you, it can be a challenge sometimes. Trying to use something else to kind of hold it in place, because yesterday my nails was not the way to go. Oh, this is going to be pretty. All right, so this is what I have so far. Okay, don't worry about that. I'll come over and get this in last. But I'm making it where it's going to have ridges in it and not just be a piece of fabric laid flat on the canvas. It's just that I got to get my little fabric here together, and then I'll worry about the form after I get it all on here. Oh, got my nail on there again, y'all. Ain't gonna be good. Oh, this fabric is gonna be amazing. All right, thank you, pillowcase. And I initially started buying pillowcases from the dollar store for sewing purposes, to use it as a lining in my purses so that I was making. So for you out there that are beginning to sew, start picking up some of those pillowcases from the dollar store, because they can be used as lining. And I think these were like 2 pillowcases for $1. So you can see how it's coming along here. I don't want to pull it, so I'm going to show you there. But you notice how it's got the creases in it, and I'm glad that I didn't iron it, because it's giving it a little bit more texture having the creases in it. So I'm just continuing to kind of fold the pillowcase so that I'll have like the little ridges. And always keep you some scissors handy. So if you see any little stragglers that you can cut along the way. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. All right, so this is what I have so far. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. All right, so I'm going to put one more little gather here, right on that very end, if I can get this. Got glue on my nail, and so when that glue hits the fabric, it like pulls it. All right, so I'm going to take one more little piece here on the end, and pull that in. And try not to touch my nail. All right. So hold that down for just a second. All right, so this is what I have so far. So you guys can see that. And I'm going to be designing out the top back with oh, this glue get on my nerves. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Oh my God. Whoever thought I would be doing pillowcases on canvas. Stranger things have happened, right? So they say. So I'm going to pull this out just a little bit and that out just a little bit. Oh yeah, this is going to be gorgeous. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting all caught up in this is going to be gorgeous and forgetting to put it on here so you guys can see it. But, you know, kind of play around with your fabric to kind of get it going in the direction that you need it to go. Hopefully I didn't touch that top. But you can see how that's coming along. It's going to be so gorgeous. And of course I'm going to cut it. I'm not cutting it right now, only because I'm still playing around with the shape. And I got one little part right here that looks like it want to make her a super badonkadonk, and I'm not having it. So I'm just kind of playing around with it, pulling it down to get it where I need it. Okay, that's perfect. Just like that. All right, so I'm going to gather my pillowcase down here, and I'm going to cut it longer than I need it, only because I want to be able to have it to drape. Oh yeah. Okay, so far, and I will actually glue that to where it kind of comes over a bit, but so far you can kind of get the feel for what it's going to look like here. All right, and I kind of like when I gathered it up a bit to kind of go under, it gave it more poof. Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty. Okay, so I'm going to now add some little lines that I can glue, and it's gonna be more like kind of like I'm thinking like make sure I'm dry here. I'm going to be adding like some very light, I might need to do this with pencil or something because I don't want it to stick out. So I'm going to try to put a little bit of, this is glue, glitter glue. So I'm just going to put like a few little dots on here. And then I'm going to go in and add glitter to see what it will look like. But I'm not putting a whole lot. So this is just me playing around because I don't really know what I'm doing. So again, I'm going to go in. So I just added some glue dots to her arm. And now I'm going to, and that glue has glitter in it too. So I am going to add some glitter here and see what it's going to look like. I'm going to let it sit for just a second. Isn't that pretty? It looks like she has diamonds, like, you know, going up the sleeves here. All right, so again, I'm going to add and try to keep it consistent with the other side. So just a little dab will do you. I got one that I got a little bit off-centered. All right, so I just add some little dabs of glue. And then I'm gonna go in and put the glitter. This is Opaque Bling, again by Recollections. I'm gonna add that on top. And you know, at this time, everything else is dry, guys. So you don't wanna do this while your other paints are still wet. Okay. So now you can see both arms are done. So hopefully you guys can see that. And then wherever you see any excess that it shouldn't be there, just take either a brush, Q-tip swab, something that you have that's not hard or harsh on the canvas or the acrylic paint, and just kind of brush it off, because you don't want it to just be glitter in all places that it's not supposed to be, because then it takes away from where it's supposed to be. All right, so far that looks really pretty. Alrighty, I'm just gonna put, looks like I could have tidied it up with one right here. I got 7 minutes and I gotta start working. But I gave you guys a good visual for how to start this process. So I kind of feel sort of like a, let's see. Oh yeah, that is pretty. So you can kind of get a visual here before I have to stop this video. But I'm going to be pulling this out more and then tacking it so that it does stand out. And then I will round that off really nicely at the bottom, because right now I got it kind of straggly. But I will round that off, and then I'm going to paint this background. I think I might go with, I don't know. I got to figure out what color I want to put that. But we'll figure it out. So I'm just going to go in and add like a line so that it doesn't look like, okay. So it doesn't look like she has, you know, some type of disease or something with just dots. And the good thing about this is if you don't like it, it's glue, guys. You can scrape it off and start over because it's not dry. So all I'm doing is adding like some little lines so it looks intentional. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and add my glitter on top and hope for the best. All right, so kind of sort of trying to show you where I put the glitter and cover up everything, and then I'm gonna shake it off. And I'm gonna clean it up a bit, and then I'm gonna turn it around here and show you. And then I will post in my Ken Doris's Cricut and Creative Crafters the finished product. And this video, of course, is on my YouTube channel. But I want to log in for work before I don't have a job. And this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. Just trying to get off some of the excess here so I don't freak you out. All right, so I kind of made it look more like crisscross on those sleeves with the glitter and the glue. And so I will probably do a border here around that part so that it doesn't just look like something just laying around, but kind of outline those arms. But I think it's going to be very, very pretty. But this was, guys, just a video. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but sometimes when you're processing the ideas in your head, you know, it is what it is. But I wanted to share it with you guys. But I think I'm going to take and clean up some of my mess here. And dang, that glue is still on my finger. I thought I got it. So I'm going to pour this in here. But if you have any questions, guys, about this process, I just walked you through the bulk of how you can get started to do this. And unfortunately, I've run out of time. I got to get to work here. But if you have any questions about any of the process that you saw me do, feel free to reach out and I will be more than happy to assist you. I again used an 8x10 canvas. I will post in the description some of the supplies I used here. And that way you'll know what I use. Doesn't mean you have to use that, but it'll just give you an idea of what I used on mine. And then the more this dries, I'm just giving it a border around her arms in silver so that it will look even better and look like it was intentional there. Oh, there we go. So yeah, but there you go. There you have it. So now you see with that silver, it kind of makes the arm stand out even more with that silver on her sleeves. And I don't know, I may add a little bit to the back. I'm not sure just yet. And then I'm going to pull this out more so that it stands, and then I'll round the corners and paint these sides. And then I'll post a copy of this in the group so that you guys can see. But it's just really easy, guys. It's just a matter of getting your forms. It's just a matter of getting your forms and then taking those forms, whichever one you decide to go with, you just take and do a silhouette, not a print and cut, but just the cut, and then have your Cricut to cut it, or you can cut it out by hand if you're really that good. I'm not. And oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I can't stop playing with it. That's crazy. And then just take it and trace your silhouette onto your canvas. You can use whatever size you want. I have 8x10s. I have all types because I have these kinds that I can hang directly on the walls. But since I'm putting these on my fireplace, they don't have a hole or anything where you can hang them, but you could get those really nice wall hangers that will allow you to hang stuff up. But yeah, it's gonna be gorgeous when I finish. But again, I'm using 8 by 10 for my canvas. I'm gonna round the dress off so that it doesn't look straggly on the ends. And what else? Glue gun, acrylic paints, paint brushes, some water to clean your brushes. Um, and yeah, go from there and have that visual in your mind, do your silhouette, and then get busy. So if you decide to do this, please let me know. Let me see pictures of what you did um, on your finished project if you decide to do one of these. I'm going to have to use a really nice background color to add some, really color to it to bring it out, but I think it's going to be gorgeous, guys. All from just a canvas, some glue, and some pillowcase fabric. Fabric from a pillowcase. All right. All right, guys. I didn't mean for it to be an hour, but hopefully I was able to teach you something about this process during this time. All right. Chat later, guys. My motto, as always, is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And I don't got stuff all over my shirt. Thank God that I don't have to get on camera today. All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.